Good morning, CCDA. My name is Ron Spann, and that's me standing next to none less than John M. Perkins himself 5 years ago here in Detroit, where I live. I was co-host that year for the National Conference of CCDA, having served 25 years myself as the pastor of a CCD ministry on the east side of Detroit. We were celebrating the theme of resilience as you are celebrating, and we are all celebrating the theme of well-being in this year's 2022 conference in Charlotte. Well, that picture of me and JP may not be the most flattering. If you notice, we probably look like a couple of deer that just been caught in the headlamps. Or I would like to offer as two old guys who had just finished running a marathon, and we're a little bit out of breath. We were here in Detroit, the host to a marathon that takes place every October in Detroit, and about 19,000 people were out there on the streets running. Now, I'm not a long distance runner, but it's very clear to my understanding that you only enter a marathon when you've done adequate training. Nobody would think of running those 26 miles without having gotten ready for it. I had my own mini version of that indiscretion way back from my college freshman year. They had a mixer event to get the entering class to know each other, so they offered us a chance to run in a 2-mile distance run. I wasn't ready to run 2 miles, but I joined the thing anyway. I made it to the finish line, racked with pain, doubled over with the dry heaves. I don't want to ever live anything like that again in my life. I was not prepared for the long distance run. Well, JP and I were there, kind of old duffers. Now, he would run circles around me in terms of seniority and the years that he has spent in the race for Christian community development. I had my 25 active years as a pastor and my ongoing commitment to CCD since then. But as Lem Tucker, who once was the head of Voice of Calvary Ministries, said, we can't come to our CCD work having a 10-year vision with a 2-year commitment. If anything, we should be coming up with no more than a 2-year vision with a 10-year commitment. And that was because he understood the phenomenon of CCD as something that you're in for the long haul. It is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And the good news that Isaiah gives here in that 40th chapter is that for those who are faced with running a marathon, don't worry, God is going to provide us with a sustaining strength to finish the race, to enter it, but also to finish it. Power is very important, and this promise of power is absolutely crucial. Dr. King spoke about it when he was addressing the Black Power movement, saying that power is the ability to achieve purpose. Don't think of it as something cynical that corrupts. Power is essential to identity. We live with the need to achieve a purpose. And by having the divine power poured upon us, we are recognizing and receiving the invitation from God to be collaborating with Him in achieving the divine purpose. That's a very high calling. And so back home in the villages where we are gathered in our various Christian community development ministries, we need to learn some strategies for what it is that renews our strength so that we can get up again and keep moving and not weary of doing good. Weariness is something that eats away, it sabotages our energies. What are the things that sabotage hope? And especially, what are the things that sabotage and drain off the mutual love, which we are called to practice in the life of Christ? It's those kind of practices that are going to allow God's power to come in and to renew us when we need that renewal. And so when you go to CCDA to get inspired, to get trained and get connected, it's that inspiration we're looking at right now for this moment. So look at the old guys. We're more at the walking stage than we are at the running stage. You all are the ones who are still initiating and launching new things. We have a different kind of energy at this end of our life, but it comes down to waiting and believing that even to finish to the end, we need the power, the strength of God to get us there. So let us be humble about it. Let us not weary of doing good, as Paul says in Galatians 6, but also, as he says in 2 Corinthians, let us remember that God's power is made perfect in our weakness. When we are weak, then we are strong. My breath prayer to you would be that you breathe in, when I am weak, and then breathe out, then I am strong. When I am weak, then I am strong. Breathe in, God's power, breathe out, is made perfect in weakness. My encouragement to you is to go home, prepared to run the race with an appropriate commitment to what God's given you the vision for, but also don't just run yourselves ragged. Do the things, do the practices, the resting, the remembering, this encouraging of the life together that will keep you in the race for the long haul. God bless.